Hey everybody, my name is Bo Sanders, and I cannot tell you how excited I am about what's going to happen in the next couple weeks. So a little bit of background first. When I was in Los Angeles, I helped start a church called The Loft LA, and it was based on this concept called Church 2.0, which is like interactive church, I've come to call it. I first encountered a Church 2.0 in places like the Church in the Inventive Age by Paget and Solomon's Porch and other emergent network things. But it's basically an idea that borrows from Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 imagery. Web 1.0 is like the electronics yellow pages. Like if you go to, say, a church's website and it lists all their doctrinal statements and their staff, and that's 1.0. It's broadcasting unidirectional, just to you. And the most agency you as the user have is to sort of click around to different links. But Web 2.0 is things like eBay or Facebook that host a space and provide a framework, but don't provide all of the content or the material. So Church 2.0 is interactive church that says that the church hosts a space, but doesn't provide all of the content. And I love this concept so much because most of our church gatherings, our worship services, we call them, are pre-scripted and rehearsed, and so when people come, they come as spectators at a spectacle. It's usually facing all one direction, and it's not that interactive. In fact, it really doesn't matter who comes, it only matters that people come. Interactive church is just a way better model because who shows up and brings their unique perspectives and insights and experiences to the table, it really determines not just what happens in that gathering as a standalone event, but determines future direction. And so I am in love with this. It's my ecclesiology. It's actually my view of the church, and I think it fits the 21st century so well. So I love it just abstractly as like an idea, but I also love the practice of it because who is gathered really determines both what our expression will be and the direction that we will go. So let me give you a couple examples of how this looks here at Vermont Hills, and then I'll take you upstairs and show you what we're going to do this week and why I'm so excited. So each of our gatherings, say our Sunday morning gatherings, are designed in sort of 3 acts or 3 parts. And each one of those, say 20-minute segments in our hour-long service, each of those is centered around a table. So it might be this past week, it was the communion table. And then we have these little coffee tables. So they're around there for our conversation groups. And there's also a high top table. And I usually invite somebody to come to the table and either interact with me, maybe about the idea I've presented that day or the theme, or maybe to come and bring a unique passion or insight that they have to which I can't speak, but that we need to hear. And so it can be somebody from a different generation or gender or sexuality or religious tradition or culture. And so it's a way for to give voice so that it's not just my voice determining sort of all of the content. Like I said, it's hosting a space, but not providing all of the content. So this week, the thing I'm so excited about is that we have been moving towards being a conversational community, and we've been practicing each of the component parts. And this week is the week we finally put it all together. So in the first third of our gathering, I'm going to present what I have been listening to and collecting, which is the passions, the things we really care about as a congregation. And so what I have heard so far is that our passions are to feed hungry people, to build houses with Habitat for Humanity, to house those who are in transition, and we're going to work with Family Promise probably to do that, to welcome the stranger, the foreigner, the immigrant, to connect with our community, to advocate for LGBT inclusion as a reconciling church, and to be people of worship, to have meaningful worship. So those 7 things are our passions. So in the first third of our gathering, I'm going to present those 7 passions. Then in the middle section of our gathering, we're going to break up into conversation groups. And I have actually put out 7 little coffee tables. And I'm going to ask people to move to the table for us to have the discussion about the thing they're most passionate about. So if somebody really is involved in feeding hungry people in our backpack ministry and in Meals on Wheels and other things, they might go to the feed table. Somebody might go to the build table if they're part of Habitat for Humanity. Somebody might go to the house table if they want to be a part of the family promise conversation. Somebody might go to the welcome table if they're involved in immigrant issues. They might go to the connect table if they really want to do outreach to our community. They might go to the advocate table if they're involved in the reconciling ministry of LGBT inclusion. And they might go to the worship table if they're really passionate about the direction that we're going in our times here on Sunday. So they're going to go to that in the middle section of the gathering. Then in the third and final part of our gathering, we're going to come to this tall table over here, and we're actually going to talk about the 7 passions. Are they really our 7 passions? Did I miss one as I was listening? Maybe I didn't listen to all the right people. Is there something that emerged that we're not quite as passionate about as the others, and so we're not going to do all 7? Or maybe there's even an 8th thing that I didn't know about that emerges from the heart of God's people. This is Church 2.0. So the first part is, presentation of idea. The second part is interactive. But where it really transforms is that the third part of the gathering is determined by who's here and what comes out of our conversations. I am so excited about this. If you have any questions, I have an entire page about Interactive Church that I've put up some videos there that might help give you an orientation about what we're doing. But if not, email me, post in the comments section, comment on Facebook. I would love to facilitate this conversation and see if there's anything coming from you, questions or concerns that could refine this process that we're in.